finishing this. But today I'm gonna be showing you my two favorite ways of brewing coffee. One is filter coffee, which you'll be seeing now. This is my usual way of creating coffee because it's just of brewing coffee, excuse me, because it's just very fast, efficient, and I just like it. So the first thing I do is fill the water cooker. Then, of course, I let the water boil. During the boiling of the water, I take some coffee beans and I grind them up. There is the finished product. So, I think you don't want to hear the noise of that coffee grinder. I take a clean cup, put the holder for the coffee filter, take a coffee filter, put it in the holder, then I add the freshly ground coffee. I add the boiling water, and usually in the morning, while I let the coffee drip until it's full, I go and wash my face and do other stuff like start up the computer or whatever I need to do that I can do in a short time. I don't want to waste any coffee, so I squeeze every little bit out of it. And that's basically it. A fresh cup of coffee. Delicious. My other way of creating coffee is an Italian way, and it's with a what they call a mocha pot. I have it for 2 glasses, and for 6, it's a little bit less strong than espresso, but it's very strong. You don't want to overdo it, and I'll be showing you now how I do that. So I take the small mocha pot. This is for 2 persons. I twist it open, and it consists of 3 components. The upper part, the middle part in which you put the coffee, it's this little thing, and the lower part in which you put the water in. I'm gonna be filling it up. Now you fill it to the little piece that's sticking out. After that, you take your ground coffee and you fill that little thing up with coffee until it's full, and you don't want to press it down. You just want to let it loose as it is. And the water, because of the heat, will be going from the bottom through the little pipe and the coffee to the top. Now you put the lid on and make sure that it's tight. And you basically put it on low heat. You open the lid so that you can see when the coffee is finished. And this is so delicious. It's a little bit less intense than espresso, but more intense than filter coffee. That is why you drink it in some nice small cups like these that we bought in Croatia with Cuban women on it. And there you have it, a beautiful cup of coffee made with an Italian mocha pot. history of coffee. I will be reading it because I didn't memorize it, but it's a very interesting story having read the history of coffee. So it's basically a bean that has been roasted or toasted, and it smells delicious. This is Lavazza coffee, and it's my favorite. As you can see, the Lavazza Torino Italia 1895 Espresso Italiano Cremoso. The intensity or the strength is 8 out of 10. Black coffee and latte ideal for. So these are basically beans. You can use it for the machine, for the filter, for the mocha, which I have and you've seen. And I guess this is the cold brew or something. I think it's a French way of creating coffee. It's 1,000 grams or a kilo. And I always buy it in Germany when it's in sale for like 10 euros. And this is extremely good quality coffee bean. And me and my wife drink, I don't know how many cups we make out of this, but trust me, it's a lot. And 10 euros for a kilo of coffee makes me think that I would never want to go to Starbucks or something like that, where you buy a coffee for 4 euros, or I don't know, in America probably $4 or $5 bare minimum black coffee. So yeah, 2 cups of coffee outside of your house are the same price as a kilogram of coffee inside your house. One of the craziest expensive things to buy outside of your house, like the percentage go up in the hundreds that you pay for it. I also have another one that my wife saw. It's Rainforest Alliance People and Nature. It's from the brand Dalmaya. I think it's a Swedish, no, not Swedish, like Swiss brand or a German brand. I'm not exactly sure. But it's also a great quality. Home Barista Espresso, the intensity is 9 out of 10. And as you can see, you can also use it in a machine, the mocha pot that I have, or you can make espressos from it. But yeah. It's also 1,000 kilograms or 35 ounces, I guess, 35.27 ounces. Now, let's start with the origins of coffee. Here's a breakdown of the fascinating history of coffee. Origins and discovery, 850 to 1000 AD. Coffee's story begins in Ethiopia, where according to legend, a goat herder named Kaldi noticed his goats became energetic after eating berries from a particular tree. Word spread, and by the 10th century, Arab scholars documented coffee's energizing effects, referring to it as kahwa, meaning and sleep. By early cultivation in the Arab world, 1000 to 1500 AD. By the 15th century, coffee cultivation and trade flourished in the Yemeni region of Arabia. Here, coffee was first roasted and brewed similarly to how it is today. Sufi monasteries adopted coffee for religious rituals, helping monks stay awake during long prayers. Coffee houses called kahwe khane became popular in the Middle East, particularly in Mecca and Cairo, creating social hubs where people discussed politics, culture, and philosophy. Spread to Europe 1600s. I cannot believe that it just spread to Europe 600 years later. But I can believe that the West drinks coffee the most, except for England. I know that English people do drink coffee, but they prefer tea. Like if you ask the British people in a consensus if they had to choose between tea and coffee, I think like 80% or 90% would choose tea. Although I love tea because I drink water, coffee and tea. It is that water is a basic need, but if it wasn't for water, I would be going coffee all day, baby. Now, spread to Europe, 1600s. The Venetian merchants brought coffee to Europe in the early 17th century, but it initially met resistance from the Catholic Church, which considered it a bitter invention of Satan. Damn. Pope Clement VIII reportedly tasted coffee and blessed it, helping coffee gain acceptance among Europeans. Coffee houses, or penny universities, began to appear in England, France, Austria, and other parts of Europe, becoming intellectual meeting places where people could discuss ideas for just a penny. Oh, what I would give to live in those days. Colonial expansion and plantations, the 1700s. European colonial powers recognized coffee's value and sought to establish their own plantations. The Dutch successfully transported coffee plants to Java in Indonesia, establishing the first coffee plantation outside Arabia. French and Portuguese settlers established coffee plantations in the Caribbean, South America, and Central America, which became primary coffee growing regions, particularly in Brazil by the late 1700s. Industrialization and mass production in the 1800s. The Industrial Revolution enabled mass coffee roasting and the packaging of coffee grounds, allowing it to become a household staple. Advances in coffee making devices like percolators, drip coffee machines, and espresso machines further popularized coffee drinking worldwide. Now to have a break in Croatia whenever I go on vacation. You always, when you order Asia, when you order coffee, you get a standard glass of water with it, and I love it. Wherever I go to my friend's house or family or someone, when I ask for coffee, they always laugh. I know, and a glass of water, because they say that coffee dehydrates, so it extracts water from your body. Now, there are some that say that's a myth, and others don't, because they say coffee does extract or take body water from your body, but the amount of water in the coffee also replaces it or something. Anyway, I just love a glass of water when I drink my coffee. Excuse me. Now, instant coffee and the global brands. Instant coffee, I would rather drink dirt. Instant coffee and global brands, 1900s. Instant coffee was invented in 1901 by Japanese-American chemist Satoru Kato, with widespread production starting in 1930s, led by companies like Nescafe. Coffee chains like Starbucks, established in 1971, helped popularize coffee culture, bringing espresso-based drinks, specialty roast and cafe atmospheres to the mainstream. Damn, I didn't know Starbucks was that old. I mean, 1971. And I don't know how it's in America, but here in Europe, I think Starbucks became popular in I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or something. I don't know. And I'm also not really the type to buy coffee in Starbucks, if you know what I mean. I did do it once or twice. And my wife, she tried the pumpkin spice latte. I mean, that's such an Instagram or TikTok thing. When she sees something there, she has to try it, and not always. But yeah, now every time we go shopping or somewhere, she says, "Oh, I hope there's a Starbucks so I can buy a pumpkin spice latte." I haven't tried it, but I drink my coffee black, so I know I won't like it or want to drink it. So, but 1971, that's a long time. Specialty coffee movement and third wave coffee from the 2000s to present. A third wave of coffee emerged, emphasizing high quality beans, single origin sourcing, fair trade, and sustainable practices. I guess that's the Lavazza and the Dallmayr, because the Dallmayr has the logo of the Amazon forest on it. Independent coffee shops focused on artisanal brewing methods and fostering local coffee culture have flourished. Coffee continues to evolve with new brewing techniques, technological advancements in cultivation, and the renewed focus on ethical sourcing and sustainability. Good to know. I do know that coffee is such a thing. I mean, it goes for everything, but it's really either you absolutely love the taste of coffee or you absolutely hate the taste of coffee. All my friends or people I know who drink coffee absolutely love it. Here and there are some people who just drink coffee once a day or once every other day. But I also know people that don't like coffee, and when I say they don't like, they absolutely hate it. Like a lot of people say that they love the smell of freshly brewed coffee, but the taste of it is pure death for them. So, and I also drink my coffee black. I used to drink in my early years when I was a teenager and student. I didn't really like coffee, and I drank things like Red Bull and energy drinks. But that's like drinking now, thinking about it. I don't know how I could do it. It's like drinking like battery acid with a ton of sugar in it. Then I started to drink coffee, and I noticed that I loved the flavor, and at first I didn't like coffee, and the biggest reason was that every time I drank coffee, I drank it with sugar and coffee milk. And I always thought, if I want to drink a sugary, milky thing, I'm just gonna drink chocolate milk. Then I drank black coffee, and I loved it instantly. Now, I did have like those coffee machines with espresso pads, and well, at first I drank like instant coffee, then I drank those pads, and now I drink freshly brewed, and those beans. I have a little machine that breaks it down and makes it grounds the coffee, and I'm someone, when I use something every day, I don't want to cheap out on it. I don't want to like, if you do it every day, if you sit on a chair every day for 8 or 9 hours, why would you be cheap for such a thing? Like, when you do it every day or do it for a long time during the day, have a good quality chair or have good quality coffee and way of brewing, so you can really, really enjoy the taste of it. Like, if you're a bad cook, I don't know, you try to cook a steak, but you don't know how to. The difference in buying a cheap steak and cooking it till it's black like charcoal and eating it, the difference between that and a 5-star restaurant steak is day and night. So I would say never cheap out on stuff like that, and maybe 10 euros for a bag, or 15 bucks for a bag of coffee. Some would say that's too expensive because you can also buy the instant coffee for a fraction of the price, but it's terrible in comparison. So I would say don't cheap out on coffee. If you like it, drink it black, and yeah, just enjoy it. I don't know where I went with this story. I went everywhere. So I started on the wrong foot with drinking coffee with sugar and milk, noticed that I didn't like it, and got an upset stomach, and thought I could drink hot chocolate milk instead of that, but I also don't like chocolate milk, so I drank black coffee. And in the past couple of years, I just noticed that the better quality bean, the better way of brewing coffee makes it so much more enjoyable. Coffee today, trends and innovations. You have cold brew, you have nitro coffee, and plant-based creamers are a few recent trends that reflect evolving consumer preferences. That's It's also such like some people drink coffee with almond milk in it. To each their own, I'm not gonna judge. Coffee culture is now a global phenomenon, with coffee grown in over 70 countries, consumed by people worldwide, and continually inspiring new ways of preparing, enjoying, and sharing the drink. Coffee's journey reflects not only its evolution as a product, but also its impact on societies, cultures, and economies across history. That's also a fun fact I read about coffee. Is that, I read it, I cannot say 100% it is true, but it does sound logical. I read that once people started drinking coffee, and to be honest, it is yeah, it's not a bad thing to do, but it is a stimulant. And I read that drinking coffee, the introduction of coffee made people more productive, because before drinking coffee, we as humans maybe slept more during the day, like we woke up very early in the morning, did our things with animals or on the field or whatever, and then slept a bit during the day to do stuff again later at night. But the introduction of coffee, as far as I've read, made the humans sleep less during the day, which caused more production, if I said that correctly. Now, what I do want to check is the countries that are most known for coffee production and quality. So, some countries have, are very popular when it comes to coffee. One of them is Brazil, the largest coffee producer globally, providing about 1/3 of the world's supply. Damn. Known for Arabica and Robusta beans, Brazilian coffee is often nutty, chocolatey, with low acidity, ideal for espresso blends. That is nice. I don't like when the coffee is too acidic. When I have coffee that's too acidic, what I often do is put a little salt in it, and it makes it less acidic for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. Second largest, I never knew this, but so Brazil, 1/3 of the world's supply. Second largest Arabica producer, and Arabica is a sort of coffee, and that's Colombia, known for its consistent quality due to the mountainous terrain and ideal climate. Beans and taste exclusively Arabica beans, with a smooth, mild, and fruity flavor profile, sometimes with hints of caramel. Then another country, and this I did know, Ethiopia, the birthplace of coffee, and known for high-quality beans with unique flavors. The beans and taste Arabica beans with floral fruity notes, including blueberry and jasmine. Ethiopian coffees are distinctively complex. Then we have Vietnam, world's largest producer of Robusta beans and second overall in coffee production. I didn't know that Vietnam was so big on coffee, and I don't know the difference between Arabica and Robusta beans, And we get now mostly Robusta, often bold, bitter, and earthy, with higher caffeine content than Arabica. Okay. Known for unique Vietnamese coffee culture, including coffee with condensed milk. We have Honduras, major coffee producer in Central America, increasingly recognized for quality beans. Beans and taste are Arabica with a balanced flavor profile, often sweet with hints and chocolate and nuts. We have Costa Rica, smaller but highly regarded for quality, first Central American country to establish coffee as a key export. Arabica beans only, often bright, clean, fruity, and rich body. And the list goes on and on. Then we have Jamaica, Guatemala, Panama, and Yemen. Small scale traditional production. Yemen coffee is one of the oldest and among the most unique. Taste Arabica beans with complex, winey, and rich chocolate notes. And it's in the region mocha, which inspired the name mocha. Well, and that's the history of coffee. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, what's your opinion on coffee? The taste of it? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Let me know in the comments, and giving a thumbs up would be highly appreciated. Love you guys, and take care.